Uh, we had done fraction distillation, and fraction distillation के अंदर I told you just a quick recap. Okay, fraction distillation के अंदर I told you कि you separate different liquids that have different boiling points. But also remember that those liquids are जो ऊपर लिखा हुआ है, the two liquids are going to be miscible. They're going to be soluble in each other. Uh, one example is alcohol, ethanol, and water, but they should have different boiling points. तो आप सिंपली क्या करते हो, एक को बॉईल करते हो 78 डिग्री सेंटीग्रेड, one boils and reaches the other side. Water remains behind because it's not the boiling point of water. Like I also explained that some water vapors would be formed and you don't want them to be formed. So that's why you add a fractionating column. What's the purpose of the fractionating column? Okay, the fractionating column increases the surface area. So high boiling point vapors would lose energy due to collisions and will uh, completely recover, hence will fall back into the container. So let me इसको जरा सही कर लें. So energy due to collisions and will fall back. And
Yes.
ठीक है, and your distillate is going to be eventually pure. और मैंने ये कहा था कि when something is boiling, the temperature boiling point remains completely constant. Like if you heat it, so by just looking or reading the thermometer, you would know कि what is happening. कि अगर ethanol पे it's going to be stuck at 78, क्योंकि as long as ethanol doesn't boil uh, and completely boil, temperature rise नहीं करेगा. ठीक है, during boiling or change of state, temperature becomes completely constant. Uh, then we had started talking about fractional distillation of crude oil. This is in your course. Fractional distillation of crude oil के अंदर you have crude oil, which is the oil that you get from the ground, and that oil is a mixture of many different fractions. ठीक है, ये जो mixture components होते हैं, they're called fractions. तो उसके अंदर petroleum gas, gasoline, naphtha, kerosene, fuel oil, diesel, lubricating fractions, bitumen, all are going to be present in this. और इसमें ये कि there's a now how they do this is just one second, let me so if this is fractional distillation of crude oil that's happening, so you have this oil that is extracted from the ground and this oil is evaporated. उसके अंदर every fraction, every component of that oil, जो भी uh, component है, it changes into vapor. And there's this huge chimney, and this chimney over here has these trays. Now it's very obvious कि vapor, just like if you have seen water boil, the vapor बनता है, it rises up. So the vapor, oil vapor that is produced, it starts to rise up and move upwards. So this is what's happening, that the oil vapor, it starts to rise up, and when it rises up, so when it rises up, it starts to cool down. Now the first thing that you get is at the bottom of this, you're going to get high boiling point. I mean, if a substance has high boiling point, it's going to condense very quickly. Okay, so all these components, they have different boiling points. And if a substance has low boiling point, then low boiling points things, they don't tend to condense. Uh, so they condense later when the mixture is cooled. अब ये gases हैं, ये तो कभी condense ही नहीं करेंगे because their boiling point is very very low. तो ऐसा ऐसा क्या हो रहा है कि this is slightly different from the fractional distillation that we studied. Uh, just one second, अजान का wait कर लें. Just hold on 1 minute. We were talking about this crude oil vaporizing and the vapor was rising. And I told you कि जब ये चिमनी के ऊपर rise करता है ना, when it starts to rise, so it starts cooling down. तो जो high boiling point चीजें होती हैं ना, they condense first, and the low boiling points they condense later. तो जैसे petroleum gases हैं, they never condense. घर में भी you have all sorts of gases, methane gas, propane gas, they're coming in, cooking gases, etc. So they never tend to condense क्योंकि उनका boiling point बहुत low होता है. तो वो आपको ना वो गैस ऊपर राइज करेगी, इवन इफ इट कूल्स डाउन 25 रूम टेम्परेचर पे भी आ जाएगी, इट्स नॉट गोइंग टू कंडेंस. So low boiling points, substance with low boiling points, they don't condense, or they condense later. Substances with high boiling points, they're going to condense very early on. So they're going to be perforated trays over here. ठीक है, इस पूरे के अंदर ना there's going to be these trays that are going to be lining up the whole thing, and these trays is where you're going to collect these fractions. ठीक है, so you're going to get these separate substances. किसी tray के अंदर, I mean over here, if the temperature is between 180 and if the temperature is between 180 and 200, so what's going to happen is paraffin would start to condense, and so on. So at different points, different substances would condense, and that's how oil refineries are able to separate वो जो भी जमीन से निकला है ना, that's how oil refineries are able to separate them into different components. The petrol is used in cars, naphtha, ये chemicals, paraffin is kerosene that's used in airplanes. वो सारे हम uses पहले कर चुके हैं. And that's immiscible liquids. Immiscible liquids. How do you separate separating immiscible liquids? Now for that you need decanting हो सकता है. So two liquids that don't mix. So remember ये जितना भी हमने पढ़ा है ना, this everything, this is very important in ATP, ठीक है, especially वो जो आखिरी question होता है ना, which we're going to deal later on. उसके अंदर you have to design things. So separating immiscible liquids, the only possible way is decanting. Example is oil and water. Oil and water, they don't mix, and they actually form separate layers. They don't mix with each other. Uh, Main reason is that they don't attract each other. Actually, होता ये है कि if you take a container, what actually happens is कि mix क्यों नहीं होता है? What actually happens is कि मैं दो molecules ना, let's say दो molecules pick करता हूँ कि मतलब solubility का थोड़ा सा idea होगा उससे. What actually happens is कि oil का जो molecule होता है ना, that isn't really charged. So it's like a particle. Let's say these molecules are oil molecules. They don't have charges, and if you don't have charges, you don't attract anyone. मतलब a positive attracts a negative. अगर जैसा वो न्यूट्रॉन होता है, न्यूट्रॉन ओवरऑल किसी चीज को अट्रैक्ट नहीं करता. So these molecules, they don't really have they don't have any sort of charges, so they're not attracting each other. अच्छा, बीच में अगर वाटर का मॉलिक्यूल है, now the water molecule is kind of a very charged particle, although it's a covalent molecule जो हम बाद में पढ़ेंगे. लेकिन उसके ना हाइड्रोजन के ऊपर थोड़ा सा ना स्लाइड पॉजिटिव चार्ज होता है, and the oxygen has a slight negative charge. So I'm just giving you an idea that the water molecule is considered a polar molecule. What that means is that it has polarity. It has regions which are positive and regions which are negative. Uh, I'm just going to briefly also ये हम detail में बाद में कर लेंगे. I'm just going to briefly tell you why it has regions of positive and why it has regions of negative. कि the water molecule has a total of 6 electrons. ठीक है, the oxygen atom has a total of 6 electrons. And it's bonded to hydrogen. Hydrogen just has one electron. This hydrogen over here has one electron as well. Now, when oxygen pulls electron towards itself, let me. So when oxygen pulls these electrons towards itself, what happens is the hydrogen comes in, brings its electron, and they start sharing, and then a covalent bond is formed. Oxygen needs another electron, so same thing happens. It sees an electron of oxygen, brings it in. Sorry, it sees an electron of hydrogen and brings it in and bonds with it. Now, if you look at the molecule, you would notice that on one side there are lots of electrons. इस side पे ना बहुत ज़्यादा electrons है. तो electrons के ऊपर charge क्या होता है? It's negative. ये slight negative indicate करता है. तो one side of the molecule has kind of lots of electrons on that side. So that side is slight negative. Now this other side only has the nucleus. This hydrogen nucleus is sitting over here. So obviously the nucleus is positive क्योंकि electron जो है वो दूसरी side पे गए हैं. So I'm just trying to give you an idea why water molecule has an unequal distribution of charges. मतलब एक साइड पे इलेक्ट्रॉन्स थोड़े ज्यादा हैं, दूसरी साइड पे इलेक्ट्रॉन्स एक्चुअली कम है. Javier, is this point clear about why water molecule is polar or it has polarity? I said, anyways, so you have another water molecule, and this water molecule also has regions which are partial positive and there are regions which are slightly negative. So end result is that positive attracts a negative. So these oil molecules, they don't attract anyone. So they're going to get pushed aside because both water molecules, they're going to attract water ka jo negative wala part hoga na, that is going to be attracted to the positive part of this. इसको थोड़ा सा इधर कर लें. So that is going to be attracted to the positive part of the other molecule. So there would be strong intermolecular forces between water molecules. So all the water molecules are going to stick together and they're going to push out all the oil molecules. So oil molecules would not be able to attract or mix with the water molecules. So is this point clear? If you look at an HCl molecule, the HCl molecule is also kind of, the electrons are unbalanced. I mean, there's Cl. Cl ke outer shell mein na, there are 7 electrons. And the H only has 1 electron. So when the H gets attracted to Cl, Cl के electrons पूरे हो जाते हैं, लेकिन look at this molecule. I mean, this side there are lots of electrons, so there would be more negative charge on this side. And this side there are no electrons. If there are no electrons, तो पीछे nucleus ही पड़ा होगा, तो it's going to be partial positive. Javier, is this point clear?
Yes, sir.
ठीक है, तो S stands for slide. ठीक है, right now I'm just giving you a brief idea. कि
Okay.
why do certain molecules they mix and why sometimes they don't mix. The water and oil, they don't attract each other, so they're not going to mix with each other. Water molecules, they're all going to stick together. Or water is a very sticky molecule. Okay, you can observe it. Like if you throw it anywhere, the water sticks to surfaces. Okay, I mean there's certain liquids that don't have this tendency to stick to substances. ग्लास के ऊपर आप पानी फेंकते हो तो you have to wipe them off. कभी कभार देखा होगा वो उल्टा होकर ना, but lots of water has this surface tension as well, that that oil droplets can form and they won't fall off. मतलब जैसा अगर छत के ऊपर ना, maybe if it's raining and you would see these tiny oil droplets hanging from the top, okay, like the one that I'm showing over here, and they're not going to fall. The reason they're not going to fall is because they're sticking to each other. So water has this kind of sticky property that because of this polarity, it sticks to surfaces. Anyways, moving on. This is not that important. What's important is the layers separate and you do decanting. One way to decant is use a beaker. Water usually has low density, so the water layer would be at the bottom, and oil has high density, so the oil layer would be at the top. And you can literally pour off. You can pour off the oil from the top. Another way is that you can separate. You can use a separating funnel. Now, a separating funnel is also a decanting device. उसके अंदर what you have is so what you have is that it has a tap at the bottom. Okay, so this is the approximate. So there's this tap at the bottom, and this tap can be turned on and off. And if you pour any substance in it, for example, the water would be at the bottom and the oil layer would be at the top. So this is full of oil. And if you um, open the tap, water comes out first. And followed by oil. So you can collect them separately. So that's pretty much covers most of the separation techniques. There are a few more. which are now you would be frequently asked to there would be chromatography से पहले ठीक है. You'll be asked different things. कुछ छोटी मोटी separation techniques हम कर लेते हैं कि for example if you have a if you have a if you have iron and sand, so you can use magnets to separate magnetic materials. Now, so for example, there's sand or anything, sand mixed with salt, mixed with iron. So you would be asked to separate these substances. So iron can be extracted using a magnet. To you, that's simple. So then you have another one which is you can use diffusion to separate gases. Now, how can you use diffusion to separate gases? In diffusion, you have heavy gases diffuse slowly. Whereas light gases diffuse fast. You can check the MR of these substances from the periodic table. So if you have a mixture of two gases and you want to separate them, there's going to be a long cylindrical pipe and you're going to release the two gases, the mixture of two gases. So let's say there's carbon dioxide gas and there's methane gas, and I want to separate them. So both gases are mixed together. So you have carbon dioxide and methane. The blue one is, let's say, carbon dioxide, and it has an MR of 44. Carbon is 12, oxygen is 16 times 2, so that's 44. And the pink one is methane, which is CH4, and it has an MR of 16. And we're going to collect the two gases at the other end. So the question is, which gas, Javiria, which gas would come at, would you collect over here first?
Methane.
Okay, the methane gas travels faster, so it would be quicker. And you're going to get methane particles would be bumping around and traveling a lot faster. So over here, methane travels faster and is going to be collected first. And that's pretty much how you're going to separate the two. That's pretty much how you're going to separate the two gases. So diffusion to separate gases. Here there is some common examples about they're not separate techniques. There's just a couple of questions, example questions. So let's do some example questions. For example, they want you to design an experiment, and using that experiment, you're supposed to separate sand and salt. Now, this question actually comes very frequently. So to separate sand and salt, NaCl. That's Javiria, tell me what are the steps that you're going to use based on what you have studied so far. मतलब इसमें कोई नई चीज होगी?
We'll dissolve the salt. Okay, we'll mix the sand and salt mixture in water. The salt will dissolve, will the sand will not. We'll filter out the sand and then we'll evaporate the water and salt will be left.
ठीक है, filter out crystallization करना है, evaporation नहीं करनी, ठीक है, बस ये filter out the sand. That would be the residue that you would obtain. And 3 is evaporate the filtrate to saturation point. ठीक है, always use crystallization instead of just evaporation. Evaporate the solution to saturation point. And cool gradually to obtain crystals. To obtain crystals, and the last part would be that evaporate the crystals or dry the crystals between filter papers. I said now moving on. अब हम start कर लेते हैं. We can start with
So we were doing colored compounds. We had started colored compounds.
so the last one is chromatography. Now in chromatography you have the diagram. The first thing is they're going to ask you to draw the diagram. So the diagram is you take a filter paper or a chromatogram. So that's your typical filter paper, or you can call this your chromatogram, and you soak it in a solvent, and it could be any solvent. So this filter paper, one end gets soaked in a solvent. And this over here is your solvent level. So that's the first thing. Chromatography, what we separate is we separate dyes, amino acids, glucose. We actually pretty much separate a lot of things which are uh, biological molecules बहुत ज़्यादा separate करते हैं using chromatography. Now this filter paper gets soaked in this solvent, and exactly like if you soak a tissue paper at one end, the solvent would start to travel upwards. ठीक है, जैसा टिश्यू पेपर का एक एंड अगर आप सोक करो ना, तो the whole tissue paper would eventually get wet because it has a very strong absorbent properties. So it's going to attract all the water, and the water would start rising. And what would happen is that there's going to be a point. I said water जो होगा ना, it's going to start rising. It would start soaking up the solvent. तो ये line जो होगी ना, this is called the solvent front. कि solvent इस line के ना एक side पे one side is dry and the other side is wet. So this line starts to travel up as the solvent keeps moving up, and eventually it's going to reach the top. Okay, depending on how high the top is, usually not all of it gets soaked. So end में line कहीं बीच में stuck होगी. The solvent starts rising up, and the solvent starts traveling up. Maybe it reaches this point. Okay, it never really reaches the top. This line over here is known as the solvent front. Okay, this line over here is known as the solvent front, and what the solvent and you're going to have a starting point. The starting, you're going to draw it with a pencil. This is where you're going to place your dye. Okay, so the dye is going to be placed at this point. Always remember, you'll be asked, this line is always drawn. So this is your starting line. Any measurement has to be made from this point onwards. from the starting line. It's usually drawn with a pencil. And the reason it's drawn with a pencil is so that it doesn't get dissolved. I mean, because so that it remains clearly marked. Pencil is not soluble in most solvents, so that it remains undissolved. So it remains undissolved. और यहाँ पे जो भी dye होगी ना, if it's very soluble in the solvent, so that dye would start traveling up. For example, there's a red dye and that's very soluble with the solvent. So solvent जैसे जैसे ऊपर जा रहा होगा, the dye would also travel with it. And there might be a yellow dye or an orange dye that might not be very soluble, तो वो पीछे रह जाएगी, ठीक है? So it dyes separate. Why? Because of the difference in solubility between stationary phase and mobile phase. This is known as the stationary phase. This filter paper is known as the stationary phase. क्योंकि ये कहीं move नहीं कर रहा, it's not going anywhere. The solvent is known as your mobile phase. So they're going to ask you, okay, why are the dyes separating? So dyes separate due to differences in solubility between mobile and stationary phase. ठीक है, that's how dyes are going to separate. So if it's solvent ऊपर जा रहा होगा, if the dye is very soluble, it goes with it. If it's not very soluble, it stays behind. And if it's completely insoluble, तो वो पीछे ही रुकी रहेगी, यहाँ पे stuck होगी, ठीक है? So, but for separation to happen, there must be a difference in solubility. अगर तो दोनों की solubility exactly same है, they're going to end up at the same point, and they're not going to separate. Now, this is not an extraction technique. Remember, it's more of an analytical technique because you're never going to get the dyes. मतलब ये नहीं होगा कि इसमें आपको अगर let's say this dye is made मतलब this original dye is made from a mixture of red and orange dye, तो इसमें कभी ये नहीं होगा कि आपको red dye मिल जाएगी. I mean, you're never going to get the red dye, you're never going to get the orange dye. It's just an analytical technique. In this technique, you are able to figure out कि वो बनी हुई किस चीज से थी. So you're not actually extracting. पिछली जो separation techniques थी, उनमें you were actually extracting the components. But over here, you're not actually extracting the components. तो ये तो हमने लेबल कर दिए मोबाइल फेस और सारी चीज़ें. इसकी बाकी जो डिस्क्रिप्शन वगैरह वो फिर हम नेक्स्ट क्लास में और नेक्स्ट क्लास में प्रॉब्ली इसके बाद तो कुछ भी नहीं है, तो विल डू पास पेपर्स, ठीक है? जवेया, कोई एनी क्वेश्चंस अबाउट दिस?
No, sir.